I kept scrolling down going, man, everything sounds amazing. And then when I saw that, I was like, yep, sold.
Hey guys, it's Last Prohican
Luxboo.
and we are coming at you once more with a Let's Discuss, and we have a fantastic game to talk about. Oh my gosh, I'm throwing stuff. I'm so happy. So, new game that is coming out is soon to hit Kickstarter is a game called Eco. Now, this game, Eco, is made by Strange Loop Games, and it is the first of its kind, first of its genre, which is like a survival ecosystem-based game. Do I have that right, Luxboo?
Yeah, pretty spot on there, Last Weekend. It's a global survival game. Instead of just kind of joining any survival game and just kind of like doing your own party and all that, like you have to collectively come together.
Yeah. But when we say global survival game, like what does that even mean? And what it kind of means is that you're playing in a multiplayer world with the possibility of having that world permanently destroyed. You know, there's that, you run that risk of everything you've built going to waste. And so you and the team or the people that you inhabit this world with,
it's essentially a server-wide thing. It's not really like Team 1, Team 2, Team 3. It's a server-wide.
It's a server-wide thing. So like the people that populate the server with you, along with yourself, have to kind of strive to continue the survival of the world you inhabit, which sound.
Hands up. Can I take the wheel here?
By all means. By all means.
I'm gonna go off that. I know where you're going with it, and I'm just gonna continue driving forward. Essentially, what this game is everyone comes together and they inhabit this planet, and what they all have to do is make a decision because there's a giant asteroid circling your planet. You have to kind of collectively come together from a Stone Age and start a civilization, feed yourselves, get the civilization going, collect resources to progress your civilization into a certain age that will save your planet from that meteor. But the flip side, and what your biggest struggle is going to be, is literally the ecosystem. I mean, this ecosystem is so technologically defined at this moment. I mean, based off everything that I've heard of Strange Loop Games and the direction they're going to take it, I mean, there is a lot that is going to be in consideration going from point A being the Stone Age to point B being screw you meteor. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's going to be just a fantastic game. Les Reagan, do you anything to fill in there?
Yeah, so, and that's where kind of coming together as a server, and as a server, you have to kind of move through technological ages. You have to research to move to the next block, so to speak. You start off in the Stone Age, and then you're kind of looking, the end goal is to get to the Space Age, because you're trying to throw off that meteor from colliding with your generated Earth. But that comes with a huge cost on the resources that are available to you on that planet. And so you can't just, you know, plug away at these resources unselfishly, expecting to think that, you know, end game, that there's going to be resources for you to really accomplish what you need to do, or to live as a civilization. And so you need to be wise, and you need to be careful that you don't go too quickly, or else you're really gonna hose yourself for the end. You know, you're kind of gonna make things really bad for yourself. And so that's where where Eco will have a lot of really cool features in effect to make sure that players are at least doing their best to live in coexistence, to make sure that no one is trying to ruin the game for themselves. And so I think I'm gonna let you, Luxboo, take this away, because I know you have a lot to say about this.
I was about to raise my hand, but I didn't want to. I thought you were on a thought there.
No.
Yeah, essentially, where he was going with that was everyone has their own role. No one is, you know, it's not like there's going to be one or a few like awesomely great players and then just a few that are just kind of like the pawns. everyone has their own role in the society, in that global society to make the planet strive. And if you don't have that, if you don't find a role and you don't actually know what you're doing, you actually might be detrimental to your server. It's not a game where you can kind of be carried in. Um, if you cut down trees in the game, kind of going back to what Last Break was talking about, as you're collecting and gathering resources, if you start destroying, trees, there might be some wildlife and fauna that might not start spawning in that same region, and you'll literally shape and affect that region. There's an actual food chain in the game that I find incredibly awesome. I think what I read was on Stranger Games, if you're keeping up, we're on blog 3, so there's rabbits, there's wolves, there's elk, there's a whole food chain. So if you take out too many of those rabbits and the wolves can't feed on anything, everything's going to die off. And the next thing you know, you don't have any way of gathering enough resources over an extended period of time to save your planet for the future. And what I was reading was that this game, pretty much each server, each real day is going to be about one game year. So as you progress on, this game isn't something that you're going to play for, a few hours a day, for a week and think that you're going to beat the game. Like, this is something that you collectively need to all come together on and really just beat the game. But it's going to take you more than a month. I think they calculated it could take about a game month, or actually not a game month, a real-time month. Yes, a real-time month to actually win the game, and that's if you're as efficient as you possibly could be. So that's going to be a personal record for myself, and I think Last Break here. But going with that, it's as you've heard, it's imperative to make sure that you manage your resources well. So the game itself has inbuilt laws to make sure that nobody can really overextend the resources, put too much strain on the resources. And right now they have something in place where the server will actually disallow people from farming too many trees and killing too many wolves, or gathering too much of one resource than what's required. But as the game progresses, from what I see, the foreseeable goal is it will all become kind of just a really livable world where you enact the law, like you can only chop down 10 trees, but Last Mohican, I saw you chop down that 11th one, man.
Caught me red-handed.
I seen you do it.
You caught me red-handed there.
I can put this man in jail, and then it's really up to the server as to what happens because of that 11th tree. I'm not really sure what laws are in place, but the really cool thing is as you kind of say, hey, you know what? I think we're at 10 trees per day. I think that we need to kind of increase that to 15 trees per day. And there's a lot of in-game statistics that you can play with. This game really isn't. I mean, the game is meant to be played, I guess, but really it's got an educational benefit to the game, and I think that's kind of like the scope of it right now. It's to really analyze, the data and see what kind of effect that you have on the environment and the ecosystem. And man, I'm all for this game. I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
bring on the Kickstarter, baby.
I totally agree with that, and I think there is a huge educational benefit that can come out of this game. And obviously, while it's just a small world that right now where there's maybe 10, 20 people populating, that can easily be extrapolated to real time in the real world in terms of exhausting resources and seeing the chain that it has on the world itself. And I think that's where this becomes an amazing learning tool for everyone. So I think that you and I can probably both agree that this game can and will be fantastic. Definitely deserves a lot more hype. Definitely deserves a lot of hype, and we personally cannot wait for this caliber of a game.
I mean, this game, I'm fully behind Strange Loop Games because if you go to their website, you scroll to the bottom. I'm gonna do it real fast. If you go to the bottom, it's what I've always believed in games. I'm gonna quote at the website. Our goal at Strange Loop Games is to use the massive power of today's hardware for gameplay, not just graphics. We use deep interactive simulations to explore the boundaries of what can be done within a game, and that's just like, they had me sold at that. I kept scrolling down going, man, everything sounds amazing, and then when I saw that, I was like, yep, sold. I'm done.
Preach.
Yeah, preach. That's exactly what it is. Like, real fast. I was on Reddit, and like everyone's like on the gaming subreddit, everyone's like, oh my god, look at this Unreal Engine 4, and I'm like, yeah, but you put so much money into making it look cool. Like, what can the actual like intricacy of the game actually do? You made it look realistic, but I don't really care about that. I care about the thought process and I guess what the message of a game is. The storyline it can preach. And I think this game is going to have a lot of what I think this game is going to be revolutionary. Put me on quote on that. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
You heard it here first, guys. But I think this is where we're going to cut it off.
Absolutely.
So, as always, this is Last Mohican and
Luxboo.
And
Happy
gamers.
gamers.